Well, hello. This is Rochelle, and thank you for joining me here on the Creative Retreat YouTube channel. It is icy cold here in South Africa, and so I am sitting in a thick winter's gown, loving the bright summery colors of this devotional. And this, of course, is the Such a Time devotional written by Christina Fox, and I am busy with my reflection questions for the wrap up of this month. And it was such a brilliant devotional and really just thought provoking. And I know that for me, this really just made me think so much about obedience and just knowing and understanding that God does not need me. He wants me and He blesses me in using me, but He doesn't need me. He just wants to give me the opportunity to be used in such a time as this. And so I am like beyond thankful. This devotional has pushed me into thankfulness and really just understanding how very, very blessed I am with regards to this, that I have an opportunity to serve Him in His kingdom. And the thought-provoking questions in this reflection, oh my goodness, they were absolutely questions I did not want to answer, because I know that God's been pushing me to be obedient. And He's a gentleman, so He gives me the choice. And just like Mordecai exhorted Esther to stand up in this time that God had given her, so I know that God has been knocking at my door to stay standing and to be obedient in the things that He has called me to do. In case you've missed these kind of wrap-up videos or reflection videos, do check it out on the channel. You can go back to the previous kits. I like to do a wrap-up at the end of the month for the devotional and just take these reflection questions and verses to my craft.journal by Archer and Olive, and these are available on the Archer and Olive website. The devotional, the Faithful Digitals, and the devotional is available on Creative Retreat Kit's website or online shop. And I'm telling you, like, you get so much out of these that you don't need to have any of the other things. Obviously, if you have the stamp set and those goodies, what a blessing. They really are just inspirational beyond. I mean, even this yellow little journaling card really and truly got me. I needed to use it, but I didn't have a space. And so that just kind of made me think of, since I'd already cut the title into a circle and put it on a doily, I was going to take some acrylic paint and do some circles in a similar kind of offset yellow with white outline markings on my page. I'm using a makeup brush to pick up the paint, the acrylic paint, from a non-stick craft sheet that I've got next to the book. So I'm just dabbing the makeup sponge into that paint and then dabbing it through the stencil in sort of layers. So where it intersects, where the circles intersect, obviously the yellow is going to be a little darker than where it doesn't. I did not end up using the same yellow. I should have. But I think I used more of a kind of primary yellow here. I could have used like a lemon yellow or a lighter yellow, lighter and brighter. But on the craft paper, it did end up looking quite a bit the same. So I'm just taking those same size circles and just slightly offset, taking the white pen and then white gel pen and making the line so it's not exactly on the same line as what the acrylic paint circles are. It's just slightly offset. When using a white gel pen, and I think I've said this before and I don't think you can ever say it again, or say it enough, should I say. But when using a white gel pen, either use the Uniball Signo Broad or use a jelly roll but in a size 10 or higher. If you use a size 5, you're definitely not going to get the color payoff or the opacity in white payoff that you will get with a size 10 or a 1, which is actually what it is. So then just taking those floral pieces and cutting them kind of in half so that I get twice the use out of them. I use half on one page and then the half at the other page so that it looks like it's 2 sets, but it really is just the 1 set cut in half. I take the reflection questions and also back them with the pattern paper from the Faithfilled Digitals, and then just kind of cut them with a slight border. So it's matting them on the pattern paper that is a part of the Faithfilled Digitals in a matching color, and then it just kind of gives it that slight, ever so slightly finish that you won't necessarily get if you just cut the reflection questions. Is any of this necessary? No, but I have said this before. If something is aesthetically pleasing, makes you want to come back to it, makes you want to look at it again, makes you want to study it again, which is what the purpose is, to make sure that we get this word in. And this word is definitely very thought-provoking. If we look at the stories in the Bible that are similar to that of Esther, if you look at the story of Noah is very similar in that God gave Noah the opportunity to be obedient, and in being obedient brought redemption to a nation. And likewise with Joseph, even though a little arrogantly, was obedient to what the word of the Lord said, or the instruction of the Lord came to put away food at a time when there was need, actually in a time of plenty, so that they would be prepared for a time of need. And in that came redemption. And then ultimately the story of Jesus is exactly the same. In obedience, Jesus died on the cross and we received redemption. And one of these questions, I think it's number 4, was so thought-provoking in that it's challenging you to think of those times where God has asked something of you or given you a purpose for a time such as this. And your choice, of course, but we miss out on the blessing if we don't act in complete obedience. And so, yes, my prayer is that God will help me to, when I surrender, be obedient to His word. Thank you so much for joining me in this reflection wrap-up of the Such Time devotional. See you again soon. Bye-bye.